Okay, guys.
Well, guys, this is big deal, right? This is about a call between...
Guys, this is the guys. Let me see if I can... Is he cross-eyed, or did he put the note on the top of his phone this time?
The president of the Ukraine, Zelensky, and President Biden. And
hey, fucko. Hey, President of Ukraine, not the Ukraine. Russia calls it the Ukraine because they think they still own it. Ukraine is a country. The Ukraine is a territory that Russia thinks they own. So fuck you for using the constant Russian talking points. You're letting the cat out of the bag. You're saying the quiet part loud, dum-dum. Guys,
the call did not go well. I'm not just saying this. Fox News isn't just reporting it. This is what...
This is just Fox News reporting it.
CNN put up and apparently has since deleted. I'm also seeing reports that the White House called them and pressured.
They put it up and deleted it? Oh, you mean because it didn't check out? Or you just thought you saw it?
To delete it. But what apparently has happened was that the call between Joe Biden, our incompetent in chief, and President Zelensky didn't go well. Joe Biden was saying, you're on the verge of invasion, and Zelensky was actually telling him to calm down. But we'll never know because they won't release the transcript. So,
right. This is going to be the scandal. That Biden is trying to help Ukraine too much. Trump is required by Congress to supply lethal aid to Ukraine. He won't do it unless they announce an investigation into his political opponent during a campaign. He gets found out and he's impeached for it. Meanwhile, Biden is going, dude, you don't understand. I know they amass troops at your border all the time, but they're bringing the medics this time, which means they're planning on going in. And Ukraine's going, no, we don't... Everybody will go down into a bomb shelter. We are barely recovering. We don't want to panic everybody. You're like, dude, you have reason to panic. This is a generalized argument between the two.
Jake Tapper, who originally reported it, deleted the tweet with the embedded video. We should note the White House released its own
Did he? Let's see. Jake Tapper deletes video. Oops. Boasting House CNS 2020. Deleted a thread that also, let's see, hold on. I deleted a thread described and then the event because the thread had, okay. Cancel, okay. Everything I'm seeing about Jake Tapper's deletions all were during the campaign. Cuts a lot of Laura Trump. It says, let's go. Deletes video Ukraine. Let's see if there's, that's a press secretary, White House disputes CNN story, the Biden Zelensky breaking. We have recovered the Ukraine call report that Jake Tapper CNN deleted. Please do not, okay, this is supposedly the breaking news one. Okay, so let's see.
We have breaking news for you in our world lead. A senior Ukrainian official tells CNN that today's phone call between President Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, quote, did not go well. Our source tells CNN that the two disagree.
Oh, right. They're talking about the source who's one of the holdover Russian sock puppets. That guy.
About the immediacy of the threat of a Russian attack on Ukraine. The White House and Pentagon have been emphatic that they believe an attack could be imminent. We should note the White House just released its own readout of that call, and there was no mention of President Biden's warnings or the two presidents' disagreements. The White House did say Biden underscored America's commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty. CNN's Matthew Chance joins us now live.
Yes, which is a distinct difference from what Trump did.
Kiev, Ukraine with more. Matthew, what more are you learning about this disagreement on the Biden-Zelensky call? How heated did it get?
How heated?
I'm not sure I could characterize how heated it got, but there was definitely a disagreement about the sort of level of risk that the country is facing when it comes to a Russian invasion. On the one hand...
Yes, we have satellites that can see the entire area. The president of Ukraine does not have access to the spy satellites and the bombers and all the stuff that we have flying over the area that we do. So we're telling you, dude, we can see it. Yeah.
President Biden. This is according to an official who briefed me on the conversation that was had on the telephone call this evening. On the one hand, President Biden saying the threat is imminent. I mean, we've heard this before. The Ukrainians pushing back on that, saying that the threat, according to their intelligence analysts, is a bit more ambiguous than that, and it's possible that there won't be an invasion. Whereas President Biden apparently,
well, yeah, we're working on that, dude, but we're going to need to know that you have enough guys at the front in case this shit gets real quick.
His Ukrainian counterpart that an invasion was virtually certain later on in February when the ground becomes more frozen in this country. He went on to say that he warned the Ukrainian leader that the capital, Kiev, this city here, could be sacked. And that's the word he apparently used, according to this Ukrainian official, sacked by Russia.
According to this unnamed Ukrainian official, who it somehow is easy on how Russia should be perceived in this situation,
who he said may attempt to occupy it. There was also some quite bad news delivered, although expected news, I think, delivered by the US president to the Ukrainian side. President Biden, according to this official who briefed me on the conversation, saying that he told the Ukrainian leader that Ukraine would not be getting significantly more military help, that there would be no US troops sent to Ukraine to defend it. We already knew that, of course, but it was reiterated.
Yeah, you're not getting significantly more, like, we're already sending you everything you need. And again, we've seen this. This is silly. But, by the way, when did he do this shit? Hold on. Hey, guys, I want to see this. Oh, no, this is fresh. Like, is he just behind in his release of these things?
There was no mention of President Biden's warning that the two...
I'm sorry, there was no mention of what? I beg your pardon?
No mention of President Biden's warning that the two...
I'm sorry, there was no... sorry,
no
what was that word again?
Of President Biden's warning that the two presidents had a disagreement. Of course there wasn't.
There's no mention of President Biden's warning that they had a disagreement. Warning that they had a disagreement. Oh, I'm sorry, that was gibberish. I see. I was confused. I thought he just fucked up the one word and then the rest of it was supposed to make sense. My bad. Okay, anyways, guys.
No one in the media is going to question it, just like no one in the media is going to ask for the transcript. I remember a time, folks, where a transcript between this very Ukrainian president was a really big deal.
Well, that's because the Congress had already allocated funds to give resources to that very same Ukrainian president. And the current American president at the time, who you barely know, but apparently you've had a couple of sit-downs over a book with, denied those funds and those materials, trying to pressure them to open up a fake investigation into his political rival during a campaign season, and then held off on those legally prescribed monies and materials until the absolute last second to put more pressure on Ukraine, because legally at a certain point he could not send that stuff without it entering another fiscal year, in which case the Congress would get fully aware and have to redebate those funds and those materials again on the floor, and it would draw attention to the fact that he had denied those things and wouldn't keep the call hidden. And then he got busted anyways because somebody that heard the call was like, what the fuck? Biden's actually going, this is more serious. Russia means ill, and we have all this stuff we've already given you, but you need to use it and take it seriously.
Remember, because it was the start of an impeachment of my father. Because they...
Are you sure he's your father? I'm convinced it's the dude from Die Hard. But that could be me. Hold on one second. No, I was looking for something and I don't have it. Hold on. Yeah, okay.
the transcript. I remember our
yes, I remember reading from a fucking Post-it note. No, it wasn't Hans Gruber. It's Ellis. Hans Gruber is way too smart to be his dad. It was not Hans. I was making a reference to Ellis. Hans, Booby. I can give him to you.
in Chief Joe Biden saying, and I quote, "So release the transcript of the call then." That was in reply.
Yeah, my favorite part is this one, where because he was contacting this and then this. That's the funniest part. You tried to call this up recently, didn't you? You didn't screen grab this at the time?
To my father on August 23rd of 19. Again, release the transcript.
Honestly, I'll have to take your word for it because that dude he's not on Twitter as far as I know.
Of the call then. Why won't Joe Biden do that now? Why isn't this?
Because there's no concept that because it was a private call between leaders, but there's no even allegation that anything illegal or untoward happened. It was just a frank conversation between leaders. If he threatened to take all of our stuff and go home and he didn't have the right to do that because Congress had already allocated those funds, you might have a point, but you're a moron, so yeah.
Media that so desperately wanted that call not that long ago. Why are they strangely silent?
Because there's no one even alleging that anything illegal or untoward happened.
Why are they quiet about this? More importantly, if Joe Biden's the one panicking and fear-mongering, and Zelensky, the president of the country who's having Russian troops amass at his border, told him to calm down and downplay the threat. What's going on there? Why is Joe Biden doing this? Could it be a distraction?
Could it be that our intelligence community as the United States, with the largest military 7 times over on the entire world and more access to spy satellites and material aerial support than any other society in the history of Earth, might be seeing something that guy is not seeing? And you're an expert in things that you cannot see. So,
technology? Could it be like, hey, like we want things to escalate and we want it to be really bad so that people in America take their eyes off the ball? We don't pay attention to the border crisis. We don't pay attention to the supply chain issues. We don't pay attention to
we don't pay attention to how hard it is to maybe move the Post-it note further away because you look straight up cross-eyed, dude. Maybe we don't pay attention to the
disasters. We don't pay attention to cops being shot by illegal immigrants. We don't pay attention to empty shelves.
We don't? No, we just deal with them as the reality that they are. We don't panic about them, though. I know you want to shit on America and say our best days are behind us because we have inflation after a pandemic, but we don't pay attention to where my other earbud went.
Under Joe Biden, everything that he promised that he would fix, nothing is getting done. So maybe
nothing.
Little distraction.
So no, we don't have. We have 70% of Americans are vaccinated. I mean, we obviously can't force people to do it, but that you're the only one accusing him of doing that. All right. Well, I mean, we can go through these numbers, but it's so boring.
Over here, a little bit of a distractionary methodology. Maybe if the American people don't pay attention, it won't matter. But what's happening, folks? We don't know. I have a feeling we never will. But I remember a time where
I have a feeling this talking point will also shit the bed and go away without it ever turning into something. I think if somebody gets 5 eggs, then he should at least get a Magoo.
They really wanted those transcripts. I remember a time where they really cared. What changed? Other than it's probably damaging to our idiot-in-chief Joe Biden, and the media's happy to run cover for him.
That's it. That's all of it. That's the whole. That's